Songs of Angus. By Violet Jacob. Author of Flemington. London: John Murray, Albemarle Street, W. 1919. First published in 1915. Note: I have to thank the editors of the Cornhill magazine, Country Life, and the Outlook, respectively, for their permission to reprint in this collection such of the following poems as they have published. V. J. Preface. There are few poets today who write in the Scots vernacular, and the modesty of the supply is perhaps determined by the slenderness of the demand, for pure Scots is a tongue which in the changes of the age is not widely understood, even in Scotland. The various accents remain, but the old words tend to be forgotten, and we may be in sight of the time when that noble speech shall be degraded to a northern dialect of English. The love of all vanishing things burns most strongly in those to whom they are a memory rather than a presence, and it is not unnatural that the best Scots poetry of our day should have been written by exiles. Stevenson, wearying for his hills of home, found a romance in the wet Edinburgh streets, which might have passed unnoticed had he been condemned to live in the grim reality. And we have Mr. Charles Murray, who in the South African veld writes Scots, not as an exercise, but as a living speech, and recaptures old moods and scenes with a freshness which is hardly possible for those who with their own eyes have watched the fading of the outlines. It is the rarest thing, this use of Scots as a living tongue, and perhaps only the exile can achieve it, for the Scot at home is apt to write it with an antiquarian zest, as one polishes Latin hexameters, or with the exaggerations which are permissible in what does not touch life too nearly. But the exile uses the Doric because it is the means by which he can best express his importunate longing. Mrs. Jacob has this rare distinction. She writes Scots because what she has to say could not be written otherwise and retain its peculiar quality. It is good Scots, quite free from misspelt English or that perverted slang which too often nowadays is vulgarising the old tongue. But above all it is a living speech, with the accent of the natural voice, and not a skilful mosaic of robust words, which, as in sundry poems of Stevenson, for all the wit and skill remains a mosaic. The dialect is Angus, with unfamiliar notes to my border ear, and in every song there is the sound of the east wind and the rain. Its chief note is longing, like all the poetry of exiles, a chastened melancholy which finds comfort in the memory of old unhappy things as well as of the beatitudes of youth. The meters are cunningly chosen, and are most artful when they are simplest, and in every case they provide the exact musical counterpart to the thought. Mrs. Jacob has an austere conscience. She eschews facile rhymes and worn epithets, and escapes the easy cadences of hymnology which are apt to be a snare to the writer of folk songs. She has many moods, from the stalwart humor of the Beadle o' Drumlee and James Miller, to the haunting lilt of the Jean Trees, and the pathos of Craigo Woods and the Lang Road. But in them all are the same clarity and sincerity of vision and clean beauty of phrase. Some of us who love the old speech have in our heads or in our notebooks an anthology of modern Scots verse. It is a small collection if we would keep it select. Beginning with Principal Sherp's Bush Abun Trequayer, it would include the wonderful Nithsdale ballad of Kirkbride, a few pieces from Underwood's Mr. Hamish Hendry's Beadle, one or two of Hugh Halliburton's Ocho poems, Mr. Charles Murray's Whistle, and his versions of Horace, and a few fragments from the Poets' Corners of country newspapers. To my own edition of this anthology I would add unhesitatingly Mrs. Jacob's Tam I the Kirk, and the Gauk. John Buchan. Tam I the Kirk, the Hollow, the Mearns, the Lang Road, the Beadle o' Drumlee, the Waterhen, the Hyde Horseman, James Miller, the Jean Trees, the Tod, the Blind Shepherd, the Ducat up the Braes, Logie Kirk, the Philosophy of the Ditch, the Lost Lick, the Lad I, the Mune, the Gauk, the Jacobite Lass Maggie, the Wusselin Lad, Hogmanay, Craigo Woods, the Wild Geese, Tam I the Kirk. O Jean, my Jean, when the bells sees the congregation o'er valley and hill, why the ding fray its iron mow, when a body stocks is set on his ain salvation, mine set on you. There's a reed rose lies on the bick o' the word afore ye that was growin' braw on its bush at the keek o' day, but the lad that pewed yon flower I the mornin's glory, he canna pray. He canna pray, but there's nane I the kirk will heed him where he sits sae still his lane at the side o' the wa, for nane but the reed rose kens what my lassie gied him, it in us twa. He canna sing for the sang that his een hearty raises, he canna see for the mist that's afore his een, and a voice drowns the hail o' the psalms and the paraphrases, cryin', Jean, Jean, Jean! The howl o' the merns. Laddie, my lad, when ye gang at the tail o' the plough and the days draw in, when the burning yellows hour that was aince alo on the braes o' win, d'ye mind o' me that steved why the wirry fizz south in its poor concairns while the weepies fade on the nose at the river's mouth in the howl o' the merns? There was nae twa lads frae the grampins doon to the tay that could best us twa, at bothy or dance, or the field on a fit day, we could sort them a, and at courtin' time when the stars keeked doon on the glen in its thick o' ferns, it was you and me got the pick o' the basket then in the howl o' the merns. London is fine, and for ilk o' the lasses at hame there'll be saxty here, but the springtime comes in the hairst, and it's aye the same through the change few year. Oh, a lad thinks lang o' hame ere he thinks his fill as his braid he earns, and they're thrashin' no at the white ferm up on the hill in the howl o' the merns. Gin I mind missile and toil for the lave o' my days while I've een to see, when I'm all done why the fash o' their English ways I'll come hame to dee, for the lad dreams I o' the prize that the man'll get, but he lives and learns, and it's far, far ayont him still, but it's farther yet to the howl o' the merns. Laddie, my lad, when the hair is white on your pow and the work's put past, when your hands are auld and heavy to haud the plough I'll win hame at last, and we'll bide our time on the nose whore the broom stands braw and we played as bairns, till the last lang gloaming shall creep on us baith and fa on the howl o' the merns. The lang road. Below the braes o' heather, and far along the glen, the road rins southward, southward, that grips the souls o' men, that draws their footsteps awa frae hearth and frae fald, that parts ilk freeing frae ither, and the young frae the auld. And whiles I stand at mornin' and whiles I stand at nicht, to see it through the gasty gloom, gangs slippin' o' sicht, there's mony a lad will ne'er come back amang his een to lie, and it's lang, lang waitin' till the time gangs by. And far ayont the bit o' sky that lies abune the hills, there is the black tune standin' mid the roarin' o' the mills. Where the reek frae mony engines hangs atween it, and the sun and the lives are weary, weary, that are just begun. Doon yon lang road that wins ower my een 3 sons they went, they turned their faces southward frae the glens they I had kent, and twa will never see the hills why live in een again, and it's lang, lang waitin' while I sit in my lane. For een lies whar the grass is heach abune the gallant dade, and een whar England's michty ships sail proud abune his hide, they couldna sleep mair soft at hame, the twa that served their king, where they laid aside their een kirk yet, are the flower o' the ling. But whar the road is twistin' through yon streets o' care and sin, my third braw son toils nicht and day for the gowd he fain would win, whar ilka man grapes i the dark to get his neebour's share, and it's lang, lang striven i the mirk that's there. The een o' love can pierce the mools that hide a soldier's grave, and love that doesna heed the sod will neither hear the wave, but it canna see ayont the cloud that hauds my youngest doon why it's mist o' greed and sorrow i the smokin' tune. And whiles, when through the open door there fades the dean licht, I think I hear my een twa men come up the road at nicht, but him that bides the nearest seems the furthest I frae me, and it's lang, lang listenin' till I hear the 3. The beadle o' Drumlee. Them that's as highly placed as me, why I'm the beadle o' Drumlee, should now be prud, nor yet or free. Me and the minister, ye ken, are no the same as they men we hae for neebours i the glen. The Lord gi'ed him some learning sma and me guid sense abune them and them nae what's to ken was wa. Ye'd think, to hear the lees they tell, the Sawbath day could mind its soul wit hoot a hand to rug the bell. Ye'd think the Reverend Paitrick Brune could see the Bible up and doon and loo his lane intil his goon. Whiles, gin he didna get frae me the wice-like word I will ken gi'e, war wad the puir bit callant be. The elders, Ross and Whelam Aird, and Falk like Alexander Caird, that think their cock so ilka yerd. Fegs I. They'd now be sweer to rule a lad sae newly frae the shule gin my auld bonnet crooned a fuel. But oh! Jehovah's unco kind! Whar wad this doit parish find a man why sick a powerful mind? Sae, let the parish sleep at nicht blind why the elders sherneen licht, nor ken was hand keeps the things richt. It's what they canna understand that brains hae ruled since time began, and that the beadle is the man. the water hen. As I gied doon by the TWA mill dams I the mornin' the water hen cam ot like a passin' wraith, and her voice cam through the reeds wi a sound of warning. Faith, keep faith! I'd bird though ye see, but ain ye may cry on baith! As I gied doon the field when the dew was lyin', my ain love stood wore the road and the mill laid met, and it seemed to me that the rowin' wheel was cryin'. Forget, and turn, man, turn, for ye ken that ye lo'e her yet. As I gied doon the road 'twas a weary meetin', for the ill words said yestreen they were aye the same, and my head hearty drowned the wheel wi its heavy beatin'. Lass, think shame, it's no for me to speak, for it's you to blame. As I gied doon by the tune when the day was springe and the Baltic brigs lay thick by the soundin' quay, and the riggin' hummed wi the sang that the wind was singin'. Free, gang free, for there's mony a load on shore may be scaled at sea. When I cam hame wi the thrang o' the years ahint me there was naught to see for the weeds and the laden spate, but the water hen by the dam she seemed aye to mind me, cryin', Hope, wait! Aye, bird, but my een grow dim, and it's late, late! The Hyde Horseman. Oh, Alec, up at Suda's Ferm, you, that's S.A. licked o' hearty, I ken ye passin' by the tune ye wustle I the cart. I hear the rowin' o' the wheels, the clink o' hameson chain, and set abune your stampin' team I see ye sit your lane. Ilk morn, agin the kinlan sky ye lifted hide is black, ilk nicht I watch ye hameward ride wi the sunset at your back. For wark's your meat and wark's your play, Hyde Horseman though ye be, ye've ne'er a glance for wife nor maid, ye tak nae tent o' me. In man, ye'll no suspect the truth, though will I ken it's true, there's mony in that trails in silk wa fain wad gang wi you. But I am just a serving lass, wa toils to get her braid, and oh! Ye'ry swear to see the gowd I braid about my hide. My cheek is like the briar rose, that scents the simmer wind, and fine I'd keep the wee bid whose, gin I'd a man to mind. It's sair to see, when ilka lad is dreamin' o' his jo, the bonny mere that leads your team is a yeary thinkin' o'. Like fire upon her satin coat ye gar the harness shine, but lad, there's a safter licht in they twaen o' mine. Aye, work your best, but youth is short and shorter ilka year, there's ain wad gar ye soon forget yon limmer o' a mere. Jamesy Miller. There's some that mak themselves a name wi preachin', business, or a game, there's some wi drink hae gotten fame and some wi siller. I kent a man got glory cheap, for none frae him therein could keep. Losh! He was shoppit like a neep, was Jamesy Miller. When he gied drivin' doon the street wi cared and shelta, a complete, the plank he wore he had his seat was bent near double, and gin yon would had na been strang it hadna held ur Jamesy lang, he had been landed wi a bang, and there'd been trouble. Ye could but mind to see his face, the reed mune glowerin' on the place, nae man had e'er sic muckle space to haud his bonnet, and o'er yon bonnet on his brow, set cockit up o'er Jamesy's pow, there wagget, reed as licked it toe, the toory on it. And Jamesy's poke was brawly lined, there wasna mony couldna find his cant I hoosie I the wind, the salutation, for there ye'd get, why sang and clink, what some see'd comfort, why a wink, and some that didna care for drink wad see damnation. But dinna think, although he made S.A. grand a profit o' his trade, and muckle I the bank had laid, he wadna spare o't, for, hap it war it wasna seen, he'd I a dram in his machine, and never did he meet a freen but got a share o't. Ae day he let the shelta F.A., wished sirs. He wasna foe, na. A wee thing pleasant, that was and drivin' canny fegs. He cam hurlin' o'er the front and struck the road wi sic a dunt, ye'd thocht the causey got the brunt, and no the manny. Aweel, it was his hinmost drive, after yon clower he couldna thrive, for TWA pairt stayed, and ain alive, his billies fund him, and bedded then, puir Jamesy lay, and a the nicht and a the day relations cam to greet and pray and gather round him. Said Jamesy, Cousins, gi'e's a pen, awa and bring the writer ben, what I hae spent wi sinfu men I will regret it, in daith I'm sweer to be discracked. I've plenty left for by my waist, and them that I've negleckit maist it's them get it. It was a sick to see them rin to save him frae the sense o' sin, fu soon they got the writer in his mind to settle, and o' their loss. S.A. sair they felt it to the tune why tears they telt it, their dulla for Jamesy wad hae melted a hearty o' metal. Puir Jamesy deed. Inna their broths the family cam as black as craws, men, wives, and weans why their mammas that scarce could toddle. They grat, and they had cause to greet. The wool was red that garret them meet, the U.P. Kirk, just up the street, got ilka bodle. The Jean trees. I mind, when I dream at nicht, where the bonny sidlaws stand why their feet on the dark mean land in their hides I the licht, and the thoughts o' youth roll back like reeds frae the hillside track in the vale o' Strathmore, and the autumn leaves are tinnin', and the flame o' the Jean trees burnin' round the white whose door. I me, when spring came green and Maymont decked the shaws, there was scarce a blink o' the wa's for the flower o' the Jean. But when the hills were blue ye could see them glintin' through in the sun I the lift, and the flower o' the Jean trees fain was like pearls frae the branches snawin' in a lang white drift. They trees are fair and gay when Maymont is in her prime, but I'm thrawn why the blasts o' time in my hides white as they. But an auld man I think slang o' the hotches he played amang in his braw youth tide, and there's in that I keeps yearnin' for a whose war the leaves are tinnin' and the flame o' the Jean tree burnin' by the sidlaw's side. The Tod. There's a Tod I blinkin' when the nicht comes doon, blinkin' why his langin' and keekin' rindin' roon, creepin' by the fairmeard when gloamin' is to fa, and sign there'll be a chicken or a duck awa. Aye, when the guidwife rises, there's a duck awa. There's a lass sits greetin' ben the who's at hame, for when the guidwife's cankered she gies her I the blame, and sair the lassie's sabbin' and fast the tears fa, for the guidwife's tint her bonny hen in its awa. Aye, she's no easy dealt why when her gear's awa. There's a lad I roamin' when the day gets late, a lang-legged deevil why his hand upon the gate, and I the guidwife cries to him to guard the Tod ifa, for she canna thole to let her ducks and hens awa. Aye, the muckle bubbly jock himsel is c8 awa. The laddie saw the Tod gang by and killed him why a stain, and the bonny lass that grat sair she sabs nae mair her lane. But the guidwife's no contented yet, her like ye never saw. Cries she, this time it is the lass, and she's awa. Aye, yon laddies war nor ony Tod, for Bell's awa. The blind shepherd. The land is white, and far awa abune ae bush and tree nae fit is movin' I the snaw on the hills I canna see, for the sun may shine in the darkness fa, but I it's nicht to me. I hear the waup on windy days cry up amang the peat war, on the road that spiels the braes, I've heard my ain sheep's feet, and the bonny lambs why their canny ways and the silly youse that bleat. But know why them I mauna be, and by the fire I bide, to sit and listen patiently for a fit on the great hillside, a fit that'll come to the door for me doon through the pasture wide. Maybe I'll hear the bind flocks ae nicht when time seems lang, and ken there's a step on the scattered rocks the fleggit sheep amang, and a voice that cries and a hand that knocks to bid me rise and gang. Then to the hills I'll lift my een nae matter though they're blind, for ane will trade the stains between and I will walk behind, till up, far up by the midnight keen the licht o' heaven I'll find. And maybe, when I'm up the hill and stand abune the steep, I'll turn aince mair to look my fill on my ain auld flock o' sheep, and I'll leave them lyin' white and still on the quiet braes asleep. The dew caught up the braes. Beside the dew caught up the braes the fields slope doon frae me, and finds the glint on blawin' days o' the bonny plains o' sea. Below's my mithers husie sma, the smithy by the byre war I my feyther dings awa and my brither blaws the fire. For Lachlan Loyas the smithy's reek, and Geordie's but a fuel wha drives the plough his braid to seek, and Rob's to teach the shule. He'll haver run the shulhus was, and ring the shulhus bell, he'll sculp the scholars why the taws, I'd like that fine missile. They're easy pleased, my brithers three, I hate the smithy's low, a weary dominie I be, and I canna thole the plough. But by the dew caught up the braes there's none frae me can steal the blue sea and the ocean haze and the ships I like wheel. The brigs ride o' past ferry den ahint the Gurnin tugs, and the lasses wave to the Baltic men why the gowd rings I their lugs. My mithers swear to let me gang. My feyther jes me blame, but youth is sair and life is lang when ye hearties far frae hame. But I the dew caught up the braes when atum nix are mirk, I've hid my pennies in my clays and the bick I read at kirk. And come ae nicht when a folk sleep, I'll lift them where they lie, and to the harbour side I'll creep by the dim licht o' the sky. And when the eastern blink grows wide, and dark still smoors the west, a Baltic brig will tack the tide why a lad that can arrest. Logie Kirk. O Logie Kirk amang the braes, I'm thinkin' o' the merry days afore I trod they weary ways that led me far frae Logie. Fine do I mind when I was young abune thy graves the mavis sung and ilka birdie had a tongue to see me back to Logie. O Logie Kirk, though I the same the burns sings a remembered name, there's ne'er a voice to cry, "Come hame to bonny Bess at Logie." Far, far awa the years decline that took the lassie wha was mine and laid her sleep in lang syne amang the braes at Logie. The philosophy of the ditch. Aweel I'm cooped. But wha could tell the road wad rin sae sair? I couldna gang yon pace missile, and I winna try nae mair. There's them wad counsel me to stand, but this is what I say, when nature's forces fecht why man, DOD, he maun just give way. If man's nae frame to lift his fit again a natral law, I winna lift my hide, for it wad dae nae guid ava. Poor worms are we. The pulpit rings ilk sawbath why the same, gin earth's the place for sick-like things, I'm no sae far frae hame. Yon's guid plain raisnin, and forby, this parish has nae sense, there's mony travelin wad deny natur and providence. For loud and bold the liars wage on men like me their war, elected saints to thole their rage is what they're seekin' for. But though a man was drinks his tea their malice maun despise, it's no for naething, divec, that I'm sae sweer to rise. The lost licht, a purse-sure legend. The weary, weary days gang by, the weary nichts day fa, I mauna rest, I canna lie since my een bairns awa. The soughing o' the springtide breeze abune her hide blaws sweet, there's nests amang the kirkyard trees and gowans at her feet. She gied awa when winds were high, when the dean year was called, and no the young year seems to me a war ane nor the auld. And bedded, twixt the nicht and day, yes rien, I couldn't abide for thinkin' as I lay o' the ween that lies outside. Oh, mickle licht to me was gin to reach my bairn's abode, but heaven mick blast 'em mithers e'en and her feet wad find the road. The kirkyard lone along the brae was choked wi' briar and whin, aye the dark the stains were grey as wraiths when I gied in. The wind cried frae the western air like warlock tongues at strife, but the hand o' fear hods at the hearty that's lost its care for life. I sat me lang upon the green, a stane throw frae the kirk, and syne a licht shone dim between the shaws o' yew and birk. 'Twas na the wildfire's flame that played along the kirkyard land, it was a band o' bairns that gied wi' licks until their hand. O white they cam, yon baby thrang, a silent o'er the sod, ye couldna hear their feet amang the graves, sae soft they trod. And the camlass flickered pale below the darkened sky, but the licht was like a broken trail when the third wee bairn gied by. For whar the camla flame should be was neither blink nor shine, the bairnie turned its face to me and I kent that it was mine. And oh, my broken hearty was sair, I cried, my een, my doo, for they weens the licht burns fair, but it winna burn for you. She smiled to me, my little Jean, said she, the dula and pain, oh mither, frae your wafu ye nae strike on me again. For ither babes the flame leaps bricht and fair and braw appears, but I canna keep my bonny licht, for it's drook it wi' your tears. There blew across my outstreaked hand the white mist o' her sark, but I couldna reach yon baby band for it faded I the dark. My een, my dear, your licht shall burn although my een grow blind, although they twa to sought should turn why the tears that lie behind. O Jeanie, on my bended knee I'll pray I may forget, my grief is a that's left to me, but there's something dearer yet. The lad I the mune I. O gin I lib by the gowden mune like the manny that smiles at me, I'd sit a nicht in my hoose abune and the wee bit stars they wad ken me soon, for I'd sup my bros wi' a gowden spune and they wad come out to see. 2. For will I ken that the mune's his een and he is the maester there, a nicht he's louchin, for, fegs, there's none a to draw the blind on his windy pane and tack and bed him, to lie his lane and pleasure himsel nae mair. 3. Says I to Granny, keek up the glen abune by the rotten tree, there's a braw lad yont I the mune, ye ken. Says she, awa why ye, bairn, gang ben, for no it's little I fash wi' men and it's less that they fash wi' me. 4. When I'm as big as the tinkler man that sings I the lone a day, I'll bide wi' him I the tinkler van wi' a wee bit pot and a wee bit pan, but I'll no tell Granny my bonny plan, for I dinna ken what she'll say. And nicht by nicht, we will a convene and we'll be a cant I 3, We'll launch and crack I the lone and green, the kindest billies that ever was seen, the tinkler man why his twinklin' een, and the lad I the mune in me. The gowk. I see the gowk and the gowk sees me beside a berry bush by the apple tree. Old Scots rhyme. Tib, my auntie's a deal to work, has me risin' afore the sun, ain't her hide is abune her sark then the clash o' her tongue's begun. Warslin, steerin' why hens and swine, naught ken she o' a friend o' mine, but the gowk that bides I the woods o' dun he kens him fine. Past the yard and a hint the sty, o' the apples grow bonnily. Tib, my auntie, she canna spy wha comes creepin' to kep why me. Aye. She'd sword him, for diody, she's fell. Wish knew, Jimmy, an' hide yersel and the wice-like bird I the apple tree he winna tell. April month, or the apple's flower, Tib, my auntie, will rage and see Jimmy lad, she may rin and glower, what care I? We'll be far awa. Let her seek me the lee lang day, was to tell her the road we'll gie. For the canny gowk, though he kens it he winna say. The Jacobite lass. My love stood at the lonin side and held me by the hand, the bonniest lad that e'er did bide in this waefu land. There's but ae bonnier to be seen frae Pentland to the sea, and for his sake but yesteren I sent my love frae me. I gied my love the white rose that's at my feyther's wa, it is the bonniest flower that grows whar ilka flower is braw. There's but ae bonnier that I ken frae Perth unto the main, and that's the flower o' Scotland's men that's fechtin' for his een. Gin I had kept whatever was mine as I hae gied my best, my hearty were licked by day, and syne the nicht wad bring me rest. There is nae heavier hearty to find frae forfartune to air, as I sit me doon to mind on him I see nae mair. Lad, gin ye fa by Charlie's side to rid this land o' shame, there winna be a prutter bride than her ye left at hame. But I will seek ye whar ye sleep frae Lawlands to the peat, and ilka nicht at mirk I'll creep to lay me at your feet. Maggie. Maggie, I ken that ye are happed in glory and nane can gar ye greet. The joys o' heaven are evermair afore ye, it's licht about your feet. I ken nae waefu thoughts can e'er be near ye nor sorrow fash your mind, in yon braw place they winna let ye weary for him ye left behind. They nixon days when dilla seems mair nor double I'll need today my best, for I ye took the half o' ilka trouble, and no I'd hae ye rest. Your hearty'll be the same hearty since you're flittin', gin auld love doesna tire, ye dinna look and see your lad that's sittin' his lane aside the fire. The sky is keen wide dancin' stars in plenty, the New Year frost is strang, but, oh my lass, because the auld year kent ye I'm sweer to let it gang. But time drives for it, and on ilk December there waits a new year yet, and naething bides but what our hearties remember. Maggie, ye'll na forget. The Wustlin lad. There's a wind comes doon frae the braes when the licht is spreadin' chilly and grey, and the auld cock craws at the yet o' the muirlands steadin' cryin' on day. The whose lies sound in the SMA munes dean and weary watchin' her lane. The shadows creep by the dyke and the time seems eerie. But the lad I the fields he is wustlin' cheery, cheery, yond I the rain. My mither stirs as she walks why her twa'en blinkin', bedded she'll bide, for fu can an auld wife ken what a lassie's thinkin' close at her side. Mither, lie still, for ye'ry needin' a rest fu sairly, weary and worn, mither, I'll rise and ye ken I'll be workin' fairly, and I dinna ken wha can be wustlin', airly, lang or it's morn. Gin ye hear a sound like the sneck o' the back door tenin', fash na for it, it's just the crack I the lum o' the green wood burnin', ill to be lit. Gin ye hear a step, it's the auld mere loose I the stable stampin' the stray, or missile that's set in the parritch spuns on the table. Ye turn ye aboot and sleep, mither, sleep while ye're able, rest while ye may. Up at the steadin' the trail o' the mist has lifted clear frae the grund, mither breathes soft in her face to the wa she's shifted. Aye, but she's sound. Lad, ye may come, for there's nane but missile will hear ye ot by the stair. But wustle you on and I winna hae need to fear ye, for, laddie, the lips that keep wustlin' cheery can a day mair. Hogmanay, to a pipe tune. Oh, it's fine when the new and the auld year meet, and the lads gang roarin' I the lichted street, and there's me and there's Alec and the miller's loon, and Geordie that's the piper o' for fartune. Geordie FAA. Geordie FAA. Up why the chanter, lad, and gies a blaw. For we'll step to the tune while we feet until we're shun, though the bailies and the provost be to sort us a. We've 3 bonny bottles, but the third ain't's tomb, gin the road ran whiskey, it's missile wad sim. But we'll stand while we can, and be dancin' while we may, for there's TWA we hae to finish, and it's Hogmanay. Geordie FAA. Geordie FAA. There's an auld Carl Glowrin o tia hin yanwa, but we'll soon gar him loo to the pippin till he coo, for we'll gie him just a drappy, and he'll no say nah. My hide's demented and my feet's the same, when they'll no work thegither it's a lang road hame, and we've TWA mile to travel, or it's mair like 3, but I've got a grip o' Alec, and ye'd best grip me. Geordie FAA. Geordie FAA. The morn's near Bracken and we'll need awa, gin yuri I blawin' strang, then we'll maybe get a lung, and the deevil tak the laddie that's the first to FA. Craigo Woods. Craigo Woods, why the splash o' the cauld rain beatin' at the back end o' the year, when the clouds hang lag why the white o' their load o' greetin' and the autumn winds aster, ye may stand like ghasts, ye may fa the blast that's cleft ye to rot the chilly dew, but when will I mind on ox since the day I left ye like I mind on you, on you. Craigo Woods, I the licht o' September sleepin' in the soft mist o' the morn, when the hairst climbs to your feet, and the sound o' reapin' comes up frae the stookit corn, and the bro reed pudic stullies are like jewels blinkin' and the bramble haps ye baith. Oh, what do I see? I the lang nicht, lyin' and thinkin' as I see your wraith, your wraith. There's a road to a far aff land, and the land is yonder whar a men's hopes are set. We dinna ken fu lang we maun hae to wander, but we'll a win to it yet. And gin there's woods o' fir and the licht atween them, I winna spirit's name, but I'll lay me doon by the pudic stullies when I've seen them, and I'll cry, I'm hame, I'm hame! The wild geese. Oh, tell me what was on your road, ye roarin' Norlon wind, as ye cam blawin' frae the land that's niver frae my mind? My feet they travel England, but I'm deein' for the north. My man, I heard the siller tides rin up the Firth o' Forth. Ah, wind, I ken them will anuch, and find they fa and rise, and fain I'd feel the creepin' mist on yonder shore that lies. But tell me, ere ye passed them by, what saw ye on the way? My man, I rocked the rovin' gulls that sail abune the Tay. But saw ye naething, lee and wind, afore ye cam to Fife? There's muckle lyin' yont the Tay that's mair to me nor life. My man, I swept the Angus braes ye hae not trod for years. O wind, ford ye a hameless loon that canna see for tears? And far abune the Angus straths I saw the wild geese flee, a lang, lang skein o' beaten wings, why their hides towards the sea, and I their cryin' voices trailed to hint them on the air. O wind, hae mercy, haud your wisht, for I dorna listen mair. Glossary. Ert, point of compass. Billies, cronies. Bros, finery. Bubbly jock, turkey cock. Cankered, cross-grained. Causey, paved edge of a street. Chanter, mouthpiece of a bagpipe. Clower, a blow. Coo, to fall. Deaved, deafened, bewildered. Drooket, soaked. Dunt, a blow. Fit, foot. Flegget, frightened. Jeantree, a wild cheery tree. Gurnin, groaning. Gauk, a cuckoo. Grapes, gropes. Hairst, harvest. Hapit, happed, wrapped. Haws, low-lying lands. Keek, pier. Kep, meat. Leg, low. Lane, his lane, alone. Lone, disused, overgrown road, a waste place. Loon, the fellow. Low, flame. Lum, chimney. Mere, mare. Mill-laid, mill-race. Neep, turnip. Poke, pocket. Pudic toadstools. Rodden tree, rowan tree. Rug, to pull. Sark, shift, smock. Shaws, small woods. Shelta, pony. Scaled, split, dispersed. Smowers, smothers. Snack, latch. Some, swim. Sort them, deal with them. Spiels, climbs. Spir, to inquire. Steerin, stirring. Sweer, loath. Sign, since ago, then. Taws, a leather strap used for correcting children. Thole, to endure. Thrawn, twisted. Tint, lost. Tod, fox. Tomb, empty. Turi, a knob, a topknot. Travel, to go afoot, literally, to go at a foot's pace. Warslin, wrestling. Walks, wakes. War, worse. Ween, infant. Weepiece, ragwort. Wop, curlew. Wildfire, summer lightning. Writer, attorney. Yet gate. More songs of Angus and others. By Violet Jacob. Published at the offices of Country Life. 20 Tavistock Street, Covent Garden, London, WC2, and by George Nuns, Limited, 8 to 11, Southampton Street, Strand, WC2. New York, Charles Scribner's Sons MXVI. To A.H. J. Past life, past tears, far past the grave, the tryst is set for me, since, for our all, you're all you gave on the slopes of Picardy. On Angus, in the autumn nights, the ice-green light shall lie, beyond the trees the northern lights slant on the belts of sky. But miles on miles from Scottish soil you sleep, past war and scathe, your country's freedmen, loose from toil, in honor and in faith. For Angus held you in her spell, her grampins, faint and blue, her ways, the speech you knew so well, were half the world to you. Yet rest, my son, our souls are those nor time nor death can part, and lie you proudly, folded close to France's deathless heart. The whole of the poems under the heading in Scots appeared in Country Life. Of the others, one or two have appeared in the Cornhill, or the Outlook. They are all reprinted by kind permission of the respective editors. In Scots Jock, to the First Army the T.W.A. Whelams the Field by the Lurk o' the Hill Montrose the Road to Mary Kirsty's Opinion the Brig the Kirk beside the Sands Glory the Shepherd to his love a change O Deals Rejected the Last O the Tinkler in English Fringford Brook Prison Presage the Bird in the Valley Back to the Land the Scarlet Lilies Frostbound Armed. The Happy Warrior. Unity in Scots Jock, to the First Army. O Rab and Dave and Rant and Jim, the jeans were tin and reed when Scotland saw your line grow dim. Why the pipers at its hide? No, I yon world we dinna ken, like strangers ye maun gang. We've sick a whale, one, O Angus men that we can a weary lang. Un little what, my brither what, man, are ye aye the same? Or is yon SMA white who's forgot doon by the strath at hame? And div ye mind foo aft we trod the Isla's banks before? My place is why the host so God, but I mind me o Strathmore. Its daith comes skirling through the sky. Below there's naught but pain, we canna see war dade men lie for the drive-in o' the rain. Ye hae pass frae fear and doot. Ye're far frae earthly ill. We're near, we're here, my we recruit, and we fecht for Scotland still. One choice. The T.W.A. Whelams. I'm Sergeant Willum Henderson frae Perth, that's why I am. There's just a bloody regiment on earth that's worth a damn, and gin the bonniest spectre o' the lot ye seek to see, him that's the best. War ill commands a Scot, spear you at me. Gin there's a hash o' Germans pitten ot by aches and tens, that woolly Henderson's been there but a body kens. Fegs I. Yon Whelum that's in Germany, he hadna reckoned why Sergeant Willum Henderson, and why the 42nd. Yon day we licked it on the shores o' France, the lassies standin' trod ilk on Thursdays to get the chance to see us landin', the besoms. Oh, they smiled to me, and yet they couldna help it, missile, I just was thinkin' foo we'd get the German scalp it. I'm wearied why them, for it's aye the same war we gang. Our captain thinks we've got his een to blame, but man, he's wrang. I winna say he's no as smart a lad as ye mixie atween T.W.A. Sawbaths. Aye, he's no S.A. bad, but he's no me. Weel, let the limmers bide, their bonny lips are fine and reed, but me and Whelam's got to get to grips afore we're dade. And gin he thinks he hasn't met his match he'll soon be wiser. Here's to Missile. Here's to the Auld Black Watch. And damn the Kaiser! The field by the Lurk o' the Hill. Daytime a nicht, sun, wind and rain, the lang, called licht o' the spring months again. The yard's a weed, and the ferm's a still, while so the seed I the field by the Lurk o' the Hill? Prud mon ye lie, prud did ye gang, all them I, but oh! Life's lang. Gaste I the air, wops cryin' shrill, and you nae mair I the field by the Lurk o' the Hill. I, bairn, nae mair, I the field by the Lurk o' the Hill. Montrose. Gin I should fa, Lord, by ony chance, and they hounds o' France haud me for guidina, and gin I gang to thee, Lord, dinna blame, but oh! Tak tent o' an Angus lad like me and let me hame. I winna seek to bide awa or lang. Gin, but ye'll let me gang back to yon rowan tide war I Montrose. My een sits like a queen, the Esk Ae side, aye side the sea war she set her lane on the bents between. I'll hear the bar loopin in its place, and see the steeple's face dim-eyed the creepin' har wink with a frown too, and the tune clocks sang will cry through the white, and the coal bells ring, I ring, on the carts as they gang I the Druket Street. Heaven's hosts are glad, heaven's hames are bricked, and in yon streets o' licht walks Mony and Angus lad. But my hearty side back where my ein tune stands, and the steeple's shade is laid when the tide's at the slack on the lang sands. 2. Sea fog. The road to Marykirk. To Marykirk ye'll set ye forth, and wustle as ye step along, and I the grampins I the north are glowrin on ye as ye gang. By Martin's Den, through beach and birk, a braith comes suffin, sweet and strang, along the road to Marykirk. Frae mony a field ye'll hear the cry o' tushets, 3, skirlin on the wing, no east, no west, amang the kye, and smell o' winds the wind ell bring. Aye, lad, it blaws a thocht to mock the licht o' day on ilka thing, for you, that went yon road last spring, are lying daid in Flanders, Jock. 3. Lapwings. Kirsty's opinion. Fine div I ken what ails yon pudic, Janet, that aince would hae her neb set up sa high. There's them that disna seem to understand it. I see warrant ye it's plain enough to me. Maybe ye'll mind her man, a fine wee crater, or blate to speak, poor thing, he didn't adore. What guard him fecht was just his douse-like natur. German's is bad, but Janet's tongue was war. But no, he's hame again, ye wadna ken her, he isna afeard to contradict her flat. He smokes a day, comes late to get his dinner. I mind the time she'd sword him will for that. What's guard her turn and tack a road divergent? You think she's way for, because he wants a limb? ACH. Haud your tongue ye feel, the man's a surgeon, and there's nae argy-bargying why him. 4. Sad. The brig. I whiles gang to the brig side that's past the briar tree, along the road when the licht is wide o'er Angus and the sea. In by the dyke yon briar grows wi' leaf and thorn, its lane where the spunk o' flame o' the briar rose burns soft agin the stain. And whiles a step trades on by me, I mauna hear its fa, and atween the brig and the briar tree there gangs na ane, but twa. Oti o'er yon sea, through dilla and strife, ye tack your road nae mair, for ye've crossed the brig to the fields o' life, and ye walk for ever there. I travel on to the brig side, war ilka road maun cease, my weary war may be lang to bide, and you hae won to peace. There's ne'er a nicht but turns to day, nor a load that's niver cast, and there's nae wind cries on the winter brae, but it spends itsel at last. Oh, you that niver failed me yet, gin aince my step ye hear, come to yon brig atween us set, and bide till I win near. Oh weel, aye weel, ye'll ken my trade, ye'll seek nae word nor sign, and I'll no can fail at the brig o' Drade, for your hand will be in mine. The kirk beside the sands. It was for you weel, my dear, that the gulls were cryin' at the kirk beside the sands, where the salmon nets lay ot on the bents for dryin', why the tar upon their strands. A roofless kirk I the bield o' the cliff it bidden, and the dade lay near the wa, a ween auld coupit stains I the sea grass hidin', why the sea sound ower them a. But it's mair nor daith that's here on the hotches o' Flanders, and the dade lie closer in, it's no the gull, but the hooted craw that wanders when the lang nicks begin. It's ill to dee, but there's war things yet nor deein', and the worst o' a is disgrace, for there's nae grave deep in uch mang the graves and bein' to cover a coward's face. Sign, as weel, though my banes lie here for ever, and hame is no for me, till the reed tide bracks like the spate in a roarin' river o'er the micht o' Germany. As I gang you back, my dear, where the gulls are cryin', gie thanks by kirk and grave, that your man keeps faith while the land where his hearty is lyin', and the Lord will keep the lave. Glory. I canna see ye, lad, I canna see ye, for a yon glory that's aboot your hide, yon lick that haps ye, and the host that's why ye, aye, but ye live, and it's missile that stayed. They gied frae mill and mart, frae windblawn places, and great tune closes. I the empty street nae mair the bairns ken their steps, their faces, nor stand to listen to the trammin' feet. Beside the brae, and suffin through the rashes, your voice comes back to me at ilka turn, amang the winds, and where the water washes the yarn tree. 5. Why its feet amangst the burn. Whiles ye come back to me when day is fleeing, and the road ot by is dim wy nicht, but wearyin' like mine is no for seein', and, gin they saw, they wad be blind why licht. Daith canna kill. The mules o' France lie o'er ye, and yet ye live, O Sodger o' the Lord. For him that folk why daith and dilla afore ye, he gi'd the life, 'twas him that gi'd the sword. But gin ye see my face or gin ye hear me, I dorna ask, I mauna seek to ken, though I should die, why sic a glory near me, by nicht or day, come ben, my bairn, come ben. 5. Alder. The shepherd to his love. Abune the hill a muckle star is burnin', a soft and still, my dear, a far awa, there's ne'er a wind, no day to nicht istanin, to lift the branches o' the whisperin' shaw. Aye, Jess, there's none a to see, there's just the sheep and me, and ain't's fair wasted when there micht be twa. Along the nose there's no a beast that's movin', they sheep o' mine lie sleepin' I the dew, there's just a thing that's wearin' and rovin', and that's missile, that wearies, wantin' you. What ails ye, that ye bide and by, and me o' its side to curse and donder the gloamin' through? To haud my tongue and I hae patience why ye is warn nor what a lass like you can guess, for your pranks I canna but forgie ye, I fegs. There's naught can gar me loe ye less, heaven's I your een, and whiles there's heaven I your smiles, but oh! Ye tak a deal o' courtin', Jess. A change o' deals. A change o' deals is licksome. Scots proverb. My granny spent a merry youth, she niver wanted for a jo, and gin she tell't me I the truth, richt little was she ken na o. And whiles afore she gied awa to bed her dune below the grass, says she, Gidman I've kissed it, 6, twa, but a change o' deals is licksome, lass. Ye dinna think to maester me, for Scotland's fu o' bra like chiels, and Abelland's 7, ither folk ye'll see are fine and pleased to change their deals. Aye, set your bonnet on your hide, and cock it up upon your bree, o' your tricks ye'll hae some need afore ye get the best o' me. Sme work to fill your place I'd hae, I'll seek a sweetharty I the tune, or cast my hearty across the spey and tax some pride for Hieland loon. I ken a man has whosen land, his arm is stoot, his een are blue, a ring o' gowd is on his hand, and he's a bonnier man nor you. But whosen gearin land and mare, he gi'e them a to get the preen the flowers until my hair beside the maybush yesterin. Just tak you tent, and mind forby, the bra guid sense my granny had, my granny's doctor's bairn am I, and a change o' deals is licksome, lad. 6. Coffined. 7. Sometimes. Rejected. I'm fairly disjasket, Christina, the world and its glories are tomb. I'm laid like a stain where ye left me, to greet why my hide I the broom. A day has the lavrock been singing up yont, far awa I the blue, I thought that his sang was sa bonny, but it disna seem bonny the no. A day has the cushy been courtin' his jo I the boughs o' the ash, but gin love was weep frae the parish, it isn't missile that wad fash. For losh! What a work I've had why ye! At market, at kirk, and at fair I've ne'er let on either lad near ye, and what can a lassie need mair? And oh! But I've sought ye and watched ye, whoriver your footsteps was set, gin ye had but your neb I the garden I was glowerin' in at the yet. Ye'll mind when ye sat at the windy, dressed ot in your fine sawbath black, richt brawly I kent that ye saw me, but ye just slipped bit ot at the back. Christina, 'twas shameful, I was it. Affrontin' a man like Missel, I'm thinkin' ye're daft, for what ails ye is past comprehension to tell. Guid stuff's no sa common, Christina, and whiles it's no easy to see, ye make tryst why the laird or the provost, but ye'll no find the marrows, 8, o me. 8. Match. The last o' the tinkler. Lay me in yon place, lad, the gloamin's thick why nicht, I canna see your face, lad, for my eens no richt, but it's o'er late for leein', and I ken fine I'm deein', like an auld craw fleein' to the last o' the licht. The kye gang to the byre, lad, and the sheep to the fald, ye'll mak a spunk o' fire, lad, for my hearty's turned called, and whar the trees are meetin', there's a sound like waters beatin', and the bird seems near to greetin', that was I singin' bald. There's just the tent to leave, lad, I've gathered little gear, there's just yoursel to grieve, lad, and the all dug here, and when the morn comes creepin', and the walkneen birds are cheepin', it'll find me lyin' sleepin' as I've slept 60 year. Ye'll rise to meet the sun, lad, and baith be travelin' west, but me that's all done, lad, I'll bide and tak my rest, for the grey hide is bend in, and the auld shoons needin' mendin', but the travellin's near its endin', and the end's aye the best. In English Fringford Brook. The willows stand by Fringford Brook, from Fringford up to Heath, sun on their cloudy silver heads, and shadow underneath. They ripple to the silent airs that stir the lazy day, now whitened by their passing hands, now turned again to grey. The slim marsh thistle's purple plume droops tasseled on the stem, the golden hawkweeds pierce like flame the grass that harbors them. Long drowning tresses of the weeds trail where the stream is slow, the vapored mauves of watermen melt in the pools below. Serenely soft September sheds on earth her slumbrous look, the heartbreak of an anguished world throbs not by Fringford Brook. All peace is here. Beyond our range, yet 'neath the selfsame sky, the boys that knew these fields of home by Flemish willows lie. They waded in the sunshot flow, they loitered in the shade, who trod the heavy road of death, jesting and unafraid. Peace! What of peace? This glimpse of peace lies at the heart of pain, for respite, ere the spirit's load we stoop to lift again. O load of grief, of faith, of wrath, of patient, quenchless will, till God shall ease us of your weight will bear you higher still. O ghosts that walk by Fringford Brook, 'tis more than peace you give, for you, who knew so well to die, shall teach us how to live. Prison. In the prison house of the dark I lay with open eyes, and pale beyond the pale windows I saw the dawn rise. From past the bounds of space where earthly vapors climb, there stirred the voice I shall not hear on this side time. There is one death for the body, and one death for the heart, and one prayer for the hope of the end, when some links part. Christ, from uncounted leagues, beyond the sun and moon, strike with the sword of thine own pity, bring the dawn soon. Presage. The year declines, and yet there is a clearness, as of hinted spring, and chilly, like a virgin's kiss, the cold light touches everything. The world seems dazed with purity, there hangs, this spellbound afternoon, beyond the naked cherry tree the new-wrought sickle of the moon. What is this thraldom, pale and still, that holds so passionless a sway? Lies death in this ethereal chill, new life, or prelude of decay? In the frail rapture of the sky there bodes, transfigured, far aloof, the veil that hides eternity, with life for warp and death for woof. We see the presage, not with eyes, but dimly, with the shrinking soul, scarce guessing, in this fateful guise, the glory that enwraps the whole. The light no flesh may apprehend, lent but to spirit eyes, to give sign of that splendor of the end that none may look upon and live. The bird in the valley. Above the darkened house the night is spread, the hidden valley holds vapor and dew and silence in its folds, and waters sighing on the riverbed. No wandering wind there is to swing the star wreaths of the clematis against the stone. Out of the hanging woods, above the shores, one liquid voice of throbbing crystal pours, singing alone. A stream of magic through the heart of night its unseen passage cleaves. Into the darkened room below the eaves it falls from out the woods upon the height. A strain of ecstasy wrought on the confines of eternity, glamour and pain, and echoes gathered from a world of years, old phantoms, dim like mirage seen through tears, but young again. Peace, peace, the bird sings on amid the woods. Peace from the land that is the spirit's goal, the land that none may see but with his soul. Peace on the darkened house above the floods. Pale constellations of the clematis, hark to that voice of his that will not cease. Swing low, droop low your spray, light with your white stars all the shadowed way to peace, peace. Back to the land? Out in the upland places, I see both dale and down, and the plowed earth with open scores turning the green to brown. The bare bones of the country lie gaunt in winter days, grim fastnesses of rock and score, sure, while the year decays. And, as the autumn withers, and the winds strip the tree, the companies of buried folk rise up and speak with me. From homesteads long forgotten, from graves by church and yew, they come to walk with noiseless tread upon the land they knew. Men who have tilled the pasture the writ and thorn beside, women within grey vanished walls who bore and loved and died. And when the great town closes upon me like a sea, day long, above its weary din, I hear them call to me. Dead folk, the roofs are round me, to bar out field and hill, and yet I hear you on the wind calling and calling still. And while, by street and pavement, the day runs slowly through, my soul, across these haunted downs, goes forth and walks with you. The scarlet lilies. I see her as though she were standing yet in her tower at the end of the town, when the hot sun mounts and when dusk comes down, with her two hands laid on the parapet, the curve of her throat as she turns this way, the bend of her body. I see it all, and the watching eyes that look day by day o'er the flood that runs by the city wall. The winds by the river would come and go on the flame-red gown she was wont to wear, and the scarlet lilies that crowned her hair, and the scarlet lilies that grew below. I used to lie like a wolf in his lair, with a burning heart and a soul in thrall, gazing across in a fume of despair o'er the flood that runs by the river wall. I saw when he came with his tiger's eyes that held you still in the grip of their glance, and the cat's smooth air he had learned in France, the light on his sword from the evening skies, when the heron stood at the water's edge, and the sun went down in a crimson ball. I crouched in a thicket of rush and sedge by the flood that runs by the river wall. He knew where the stone lay loose in its place, and a foot might hold in the chink between, the carven niche where the arms had been, and the iron rings in the tower's face, for the scarlet lilies lay broken round, snapped through at the place where his tread would fall, as he slipped at dawn to the yielding ground, near the flood that runs by the river wall. I gave the warning, I ambushed the band in the alder clump, he was 1 to 10, shall I fight for my soul as he fought then, Lord God, in the grasp of the devil's hand? As the cock crew up in the morning chill, and the city waked to the watchman's call, there were 4 left lying to sleep their fill at the flood that runs by the city wall. Had I owned this world to its farthest part, I had bartered all to have had his share, yet he died that night in the city square, with a scarlet lily above his heart. And she? Where the torrent goes by the slope, there rose in the river a stifled call, and 2 white hands strove with a knotted rope in the flood that runs by the river wall. Christ! I had thought I should die like a man, and that death, grim death, might himself be sweet, when the red sod rocked to the horses' feet, and the knights went down as they led the van. But the end that waits like a trap for me will come when I fight for my latest breath, with a white face drowned between God and me in the flood that runs by the banks of death. Frost-bound. When winter's pulse seems dead beneath the snow, and has no throb to give, warm your cold heart at mine, beloved, and so shall your heart live. For mine is fire, a furnace strong and red. Look up into my eyes, there shall you see a flame to make the dead take life and rise. My eyes are brown, and yours are still and grey, still as the frost-bound lake whose depths are sleeping in the icy sway, and will not wake. Soundless they are below the leaden sky, bound with that silent chain, yet chains may fall, and those that fettered lie may live again. Yes, turn away, grey eyes, you dare not face in mine the flame of life. When frost meets fire, 'tis but a little space that ends the strife. Then comes the hour, when, breaking from their bands, the swirling floods run free, and you, beloved, shall stretch your drowning hands, and cling to me. Armed. Give me tonight to hide me in the shade, that neither moon nor star may see the secret place where I am laid, nor watch me from afar. Let not the dark its prying ghosts employ to peer on my retreat, and see the fragments of my broken toy lie scattered at my feet. I fashioned it, that idol of my own, of metal strange and bright. I made my toy a god, I raised a throne to honor my delight. This haunted byway of the grove was lit with lamps my hand had trimmed. Before the altar in the midst of it I kept their flame undimmed. My steps turned ever to the hidden shrine. Aware or unaware, my soul dwelt only in that spot divine, and now a wreck lies there. Give me tonight to weep, when dawn is spread beyond the heavy trees, and in the east the day is heralded by cloud-wrought companies. I shall have gathered up my heart's desire, broken, destroyed, adored, and from its splinters, in a deathless fire, I shall have forged a sword. The happy warrior! I have brought no store from the field now the day is ended, the harvest moon is up and I bear no sheaves. When the toilers carry the fruits hanging gold and splendid, I have but leaves. When the saints pass by in the pride of their stainless raiment, their brave hearts high with the joy of the gifts they bring, I have saved no whit from the sum of my daily payment for offering. Not there's my place where the workman his toil delivers, I scarce can see the ground where the hero stands, I must wait as the one poor fool in that host of givers, with empty hands. There was no time lent to me that my skill might fashion some work of praise, some glory, something of light, for the swarms of hell came on in their power and passion, I could but fight. I am maimed and spent, I am broken and trodden under, with wheel and horseman the battle has swept me o'er, and the long, vain warfare has riven my heart asunder, I can no more. But my soul is still, though the sundering door has hidden the mirth and glitter, the sound of the lighted feast, though the guests go in and I stand in the night, unbidden, the worst, the least. My soul is still. I have gotten nor fame nor treasure, let all men spurn me, let devils and angels frown, but the scars I bear are a guerdon of royal measure, my stars, my crown. Unity. I dreamed that life and time and space were one, and the pure trance of dawn, the increase drawn from all the journeys of the traveling sun, and the long mysteries of sound and sight, the whispering rains, and far, calm waters set in lonely plains, and cry of birds at night. I dreamed that these and love and death were one, and all eternity, the life to be therewith entwined, throughout the ages spun, and so with grief, my playmate, him I knew one with the rest, one with the mounting day, the east and west. Lord, is it true? Lord, do I dream? Methinks a key unlocks some dungeon door, in thrall of blackened towers, on ecstasies, half hid, like chill white flowers blown in the secret places of the rocks.